Hey, what's up, guys? Christian Brindle here, and I am back with another video with someone doing big time, very important things, in my opinion, for our industry. I'm joined with Renell Nolan of HAFA. This is our first time getting to interact in our first conversation. I've heard nothing but amazing things from her, from mutual friends that are working with HAFA. I think that they're doing such an amazing job from everything I can see, really fighting and advocating for the rights of agents. We're going to get into a lot of things that are kind of going on. I'm super excited about this conversation, and I think this is a message that as many agents as possible need to hear about. But first off, Renell, how are you today?
I'm doing great. And thank you so much for this opportunity. Very excited.
Well, I'm excited as well, and I appreciate you taking the time. I know how busy you are. Let's first start off from the beginning, right? A lot of agents are familiar with certain advocacy groups. Like there's a lot of agents, pretty much every agent I know is probably familiar with like NABIP, but I don't know if as many agents are as familiar with HAFA. First off, what is HAFA and how did HAFA get started?
We are definitely the hidden jewel, but we're Health Agents for America, HAFA. We started, actually, this is our anniversary 12 years ago. And it was an idea that I had that agents needed an association that was going to fight for them exclusively, that they wouldn't have carrier reps as members on their boards. And they just needed someone that was just fighting for them. We're a nonprofit trade association. And we started in Louisiana. That's where my office is. We now have an office in DC. So excited about. But I knew that when I started, we were going to be all over America. So that's why the word America came in. It wasn't Health Agents of Louisiana. And the next month, I went and spoke in California, and people were like, "Oh, I like what she's saying." And we
Mhm.
started picking up members all over. So that's how we started, just grassroots. Not with a marketing budget, just totally the ground up, just doing the right thing.
I love it. And I have been so impressed by just kind of the messaging that I've seen from Hoffa, the emphasis that I've seen from Hoffa and from you. So I want to give you props to that because I think it's very appreciated. And I think the topics and the concerns that you've addressed and brought up lately, well, I mean, for the better part of probably most of this year, from when I've been able to pay attention, has been right on the money, right? And everything kind of that's going on. This has been an unprecedented year for not just Medicare agents, but probably individual health sales in general, right? ACA, Medicare. What are some things that you feel like should really be at the forefront right now of us being concerned about? Because there's a lot of things. We had final rule earlier this year, and that kind of, was this dark cloud over a lot of the industry. We have non-commissionable plans now coming out. We have suppressed plans. And then, of course, everything that we see going on with the ACA stuff. So is there a couple of things or that you're the most concerned about, or is it kind of a combination?
Well, first thing I will say is number one, I'm not politically correct. And I'm going to say what needs to be said. And what I'm going to say first is CMS is insane. So they have done some
Hmm.
very insane things to our industry and therefore trickling down to the community that we represent. And Insurance Newsnet just released an article this morning that said exactly what I said about the fact that, we are being attacked by CMS and it's hurting the millions of seniors that are out there that deserve a professional agent. And with Medicare agents, I'm going to say that how in the world does a company file rates with CMS? They're approved by CMS, and then the insurance carrier decides arbitrarily they're not going to pay commissions. That doesn't make
Mhm.
any sense. It's not and is not legal, and CMS should stand up and do something about it. Are they paying
Agreed.
attention? Oh, yeah, they're paying attention. I'm going to tell you, they read everything I put on Facebook. I am watched 24/7. But that's important to me. It's important to me that Medicare Advantage, we're in the middle of Medicare Advantage. We've signed contracts. We think we're going to be paid. And all of a sudden, CMS allows the carriers not to pay. That's important. That's kind of something that makes me wake up every morning. I do not believe that's right. I've already spoke to the Speaker of the House about it. I'm speaking to Senate Health this afternoon about it. And like I said, CMS has already made calls to our attorney. They know what I'm saying. They know what I'm saying about this particularly. And there's folks that said, have agreed with me, I don't think this is right. And it's not. And, some people will say on Facebook, this is not a big issue. Well, maybe it's not a big issue to you, but if that's the area that you work in and you're not being paid, it's a big issue. If you're having to close your doors, that's a big issue. If you can't pay your staff, feed your family, that's a big issue. And I have a problem with it. And I'm going to fight tooth and nail 24/7 to whoever will listen to me and say that's incorrect. CMS is also attacking folks on the ACA side. They have an algorithm that is going after good agents that are minority agents. We have an inside source that has admitted it is minority agents. What that does is it trickles down to the minority communities, which are the very folks that the federal government says we're trying to help. So agents will get a letter, and I'm not sure most people know, but agents will get a letter and say, we pulled 5 files. They may be fraudulent. Doesn't say they are. But at that point, you're guilty until proven innocent. So your commission stopped, you can't work your book, your certification is pulled, you're dead in the water that minute. Then they ask stupid questions like, give us a consent form for 2021 when that rule wasn't released till 2023. So it's insane things. What that CMS algorithm does is if you have too many people in a certain occupation, so say you work in a community that is Spanish and all my Spanish clients are plumbers, then it's going to tag you and say, you could be fraudulent because you have too many plumbers. No, my community is plumbers. Or you wrote too many, clients that are 20,000. No, I write all, people that are truckers, and that's what their base income is. Their algorithms make no sense and they cannot explain it. They have no formal appeal process. They do not know what they're doing. This morning, I got an email from our attorney that said there was a good agent, of course, lost their book of business. They had a consumer that lost their insurance. So CMS arbitrarily canceled this consumer's insurance. So another agent three-way call, tried to re-enroll this person, and CMS said, we cannot enroll you, Mr. Consumer, until the fraudulent agent's information is cleared up.
Wow.
Now, what the HELL?
Wow.
That doesn't, so this lady or man, I don't know, it is on some kind of specialty drugs that she cannot do her job because CMS will not reinstate her because they have decided somebody is fraudulent. So if you don't think CMS is insane, totally incorrect. We are, as HAFA, have a legal fund right now where we are raising money and we are working with Dicers Law in Washington, D.C. We're going to stop what's going on. We're going to file, they're going to file. We haven't formally joined the lawsuit, but it's called a temporary restraining order, which stops CMS from this bad behavior, which not only stops the agents, gets their, the good agents getting in trouble, but their attention on the Medicare Advantage, Medicare Part D, not paying commissions. So to be honest, I celebrated when the elections was over, and not because it really mattered who won. That was not the issue. Whoever won was going to bring in their new staff for CMS, and we were going to have new folks. So either way, we were going to have a new group of people to go in and talk to, because the brass at CMS now needs to go home and needs to do something else besides attack the agent and broker community and attack the agents, the Americans in the United States. So that was a lot. I told you I could talk forever.
That was amazing. It's the incompetence is jarring with what you see from CMS, right? Like it's one of those things where whatever they say they're trying to accomplish, it seems to accomplish more of working against that, right? Like, they say they're trying to create more situations where there's less bias, but ultimately what they've done is created more bias than ever, right? There's more non-commissionable plans. Most PDP carriers won't pay commissions anymore. And it's just, every way you turn, I think it's just, you can't use any other word other than incompetence right from the top, from the CMS commissioner to the entire leadership team over there. They have no idea what you're doing. I completely agree with you. There's no other way to really kind of chalk it up.
No, and I'll solidify the statement I keep making about filing the rates and being approved by CMS. I talked to WellCare directly about not paying for commissions. And what they said was, Ronell, we thought we were going to have to pay that $100 per person. So we filed our rates. CMS said, okay, you don't have to pay that amount. And they would not allow us to go and adjust our rates to give y'all back your commissions. Okay, one thing, that's a baloney story because you're selling zero plans. That doesn't even make sense. But what makes sense is they filed with CMS, they couldn't adjust their rates. So if you're a Medicare Advantage and you file your rates, CMS didn't allow you to adjust your rates. And if you're not going to pay agents or broker commission, then you should be giving everybody a discount that's an American that's enrolling in your Medicare Advantage plan. Something doesn't make sense. Something doesn't smell right. And everybody's like, well, if the carriers are struggling, okay, I challenge you to go and look at the CEO of each one of those companies and look at their income. And I promise you, it's a lot of money. So don't
Yes.
tell me you can't pay agents and brokers. You know, when you could
Yeah.
have your own private jet and all this stuff, that's baloney. What they're doing is wrong. And if they can't afford, to pay agents and brokers, they would have known that before open enrollment. You should be watching your books closer before you get in the middle of open enrollment and decide, oh, we need to make a change. No, you didn't. And no, you shouldn't be allowed to. And I promise you, I'm going to be on the Hill December 2nd and 3rd, and that's going to be said over and over and over again because Capitol Hill shouldn't allow CMS to allow the carriers to do.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, I know when we've seen some of these things dropping over the past couple weeks in terms of non-commissionable plans, out of nowhere, I had a million agents call me and be like, "Have you ever seen this before?" I'm like, "Nope, not in my career." Granted, there was Medicare before me. I've been around about 10, 11 years. There were plans certainly before me, but I've never seen it personally, and it's kind of unprecedented in a way. It's just it's really crazy. And you got to think, one thing I've always, tell clients in our agency internally, or our team tells clients is insurance companies are not dumb. They're extremely calculated. They're very intelligent. They know exactly what they're doing. So I have a hard time buying, oh, we didn't know, or oh, shucks, oh, geez, we didn't know. It's like, insurance companies are maniacal in a way about their numbers, about their profits, about their margins, everything. And yeah, I mean, another thing you mentioned earlier that I really kind of want to reemphasize, if any, just to make sure everybody caught it, is, you mentioned that people saying this stuff isn't a big deal. Well, maybe even, maybe even we play devil's advocate for a certain area, a certain agent, right, with certain type of business model. Maybe it's not a big deal for you individually, but these things cracking the door open can turn into other things as we go if we allow it to happen. I think that's something that everybody should be thinking about as well, because everything starts somewhere. You don't start falling off the cliff. You start by slipping, I guess, stumbling, but you don't straight fall off. It's usually there's signs. And I think
Absolutely.
that's a good point that everybody should be thinking about too.
And we should be thinking of our industry as being a family. And I say that all the time about our HAFA agents. We are a family, and something might be happening to you. I should do something about it. It might not be happening to me, but I need to work with my colleague that's being hurt by whatever. And people need to understand that I'm a little bit different in that when you said how long you've been in the business, it kind of made me like, because I just calculated this morning, I'm an insurance agent first, decided to be a
Mhm.
lobbyist, decided I wanted to be the president of association. So my background is being an agent. I've been in this business for 44 years. That scares the hell
Wow.
out of me. But that's a long time. So I
Absolutely.
feel things a lot different than some of the new folks because I've been here forever. I've seen things. I was there on Capitol Hill when the ACA was passed. I'm at the Hill a lot of times when I see things. So absolutely, it might not be hurting you, and I'm happy for you, honestly. But I promise you, it's happening to other folks, and we
Yes.
need to rise together, stand shoulder to shoulder, be an army, and say we're not going to take this anymore. We don't deserve it. There's no other profession in the United States and probably the world that is asked to work for free. Who does that? Nobody. So why
Hmm.
should we have to work for free? Because we love our clients? We absolutely do. But you have to keep the lights on.
Yes.
So, it might not be happening to you, but I promise it's happening to somebody else. And get involved. Join an association. If it's not HAFA, join somebody. I don't care. Get involved. If you can give to our legal fund, hallelujah. That's going to go down like soon.
Mm.
Soon. I've been begging our attorney to march with me to the Supreme Court forever about the things that's happened over the years that were bad. And child, I'm going to court, and I'm going to court for agents and brokers. I'm not going to stop.
I love it. I love it. You mentioned the fund. I want to talk about that a little bit as well. I think this is great. Agents all the time are outraged about things that are going on, but then when it comes time for them to actually contribute towards a solution, maybe sometimes they don't want to do it. I contributed personally to this fund. I highly recommend all of you that are watching do that as well. Are you able, Renelle, to talk a little bit about what the goal is in terms of the amount we're trying to reach on the fund? And guys, we'll also throw a link to it down in the description of this video so you can be able to find that. But talk a little bit about the fund, if you would.
Absolutely. The first part, the temporary restraining order, they need between 250 and 300,000. And the reason, that to me sounds a lot of money, but I guess because I don't have a lot of money, but it sounds like a lot of money to me. But this isn't something that Dicers is doing by their own. They have also partnered with another attorney group that has already filed against CMS and is already in negotiations. So we've got somebody that knows how to do it, that all we have to do is copy and paste what they're doing. So the first part is to raise that amount of money. And to be honest, I haven't even looked at our tally yet, but I did get an email this morning saying, Ronell, I'm giving you 25,000. And I mean, I almost cried because I was like, that's what we need. We need, because the attorneys today are going to give James an idea of what they're going to cost. So if it was just him, he's been given his blood, sweat, and tears to our association and the agents forever. But of course, he can't work for free either. But if we can get there, and if we can, get these other agents to help us, it's going to make things go so much smoother. The lawsuit will be filed in DC, and like I said, they already have what it needs to look like. All they need to do is fill in the blanks. And some of these agents that have been terrorized, a lot of these agents that have been terrorized are going to get somebody standing up for them and fighting for them. And even if you're not, I have one of my board members that gave 25,000, big FMO, and she said, I have never had an agent affected at all, ever. But I believe and I know that it could be me tomorrow. So yes. I appreciate you giving, Christian. I gave. As soon as I can give more, I'm going to give more because I believe. And it doesn't have to be a lot of money. It can be whatever you can afford because every penny helps. Some people say, look, I had a gentleman, Ronell, I lost my whole book of business. I'm going to have to tell my wife tomorrow, that I have no money coming in, but I'm going to send you $1,000 because I care. And I was like, how?
Wow.
That kind of stories just breaks your heart because he's not going to be able to work during open enrollment, cannot touch his clients, cannot enroll anyone because CMS thinks he did something and he is given $1,000. I mean, just to see the agents that have stood up to this point just makes me so happy. It makes me believe in what I'm doing. And for the Medicare agents on the call, excited, I posted in your Facebook group that Fortune has reached out and wants to talk about Medicare Advantage. Modern Healthcare has called and wants to talk about Medicare Advantage. And then Insurance Newsnet that just did it. So they're paying attention. They want to report the news. And that's when Capitol Hill starts paying attention. And that's when CMS starts paying attention. And I'll give you an idea. The first kind of article that was written by Kaiser News, I was quoted as saying that the fraud was rampant and horrible. We've been saying that hashtag. Well, CMS kind of came after me and said, that's really bad. You shouldn't be saying that, blah, 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 blah. Well, I know internally that is put on a poster at their office at CMS that it's rampant and horrible, but we're going to fix it. Well, I'm like, you're going to fix it, but not on the back of good agents. So
Yeah.
They're all paying attention. Just know that everything you do is not unnoticed. So keep doing what you're doing. Good agents are we're doing a good thing. We just need somebody to fight for us. And I've decided that that's going to be me.
I love it. I love everything about it. I want to be respectful of your time, but I have a couple of other questions I wanted to kind of get to that I thought would be kind of interesting for everybody to hear. So you mentioned a second ago about with the election being over, it means a new brass of CMS leadership, new commissioner being appointed by the new administration. I funny enough, I have been overly probably critical, or I don't know if that's even possible, but I've been very critical of the current CMS administration as soon as they've took office. In I think 21 was when the current one got appointed, and I've made plenty of videos about it. I've been very outspoken about it. What do you feel like without getting political? I don't want it to come across to anybody like it is political, but like, what do you feel like a new CMS administration will mean? Will it be easier, do you think, to get them to pay attention to the things that are going on? I've heard from some people they think that like, with the final rule lawsuits, it might just get dropped altogether. I know, the appointment and the installation of the new commissioner and the leadership probably won't happen overnight. Take some time. What are your thoughts on those kind of things?
As soon as those people are put in place, I will be there. So
Hmm.
the relationship has to start day one. We'll build a relationship. The problem about the Medicare side is there's no one to go to. On the ACA side, there's a group of folks that are just for us, agents and brokers. Dean Mose is with CMS. The first thing I'm going to do is ask for a liaison on the Medicare side. We need someone to answer our questions, help us when we need it, get involved. So that's going to be important to me. The other thing that I want to say is with the Republicans keeping the Senate or taking the Senate, Senator Bill Cassidy from Louisiana will take the gavel for Senate Health. Senate Health does all the health stuff, all the Medicare stuff. He is a personal friend of mine. You can't tell me how excited I am to be able to call him on his cell phone and say, this is going down, I need your help. So I think that anything is possible. There's so many things that CMS and honestly every three-letter government's been doing to people across the nation. But, we're going to be able to call them on the carpet, and everything can be done by regulation. So doesn't have to go through the legislative, Senate, House, president sign. No. So many things are done by regulation that it can be done by regulation now. So CMS has taken this role that we're not going to even go through the regular rule processing where you get to comment and all this stuff. They just say, hey, tomorrow, your life's over. They don't care. So I am excited, and I was going to be excited either way, but the Republicans in the past have been more helpful to the agent community. I can see them reversing a lot of this bad behavior pretty quickly. So that's why I'm saying is soon, if you hear through the grapevine, who they're going to be appointing, let me know. We've had people in both camps, Harris and Trump, for a while talking about agent and broker issues. So they know about it. They're aware about it. I'm not sure how quick that they're going to act on it, but we need, as a team, you hear anything, you let me know so I can fly up there the next day or the same day and set up an appointment and say, look, we've got some problems and here's what they are. I've been telling our members, and I'd like to tell, your listeners also, if you have an idea or you have a Christmas wish list, send it to me because I'm going to be making a list so we can go to the feds and say, look, this happened, it needs to be removed. This happened, or whatever it is, this needs to be added. We need to come as an army and say, this is what we need to do our job properly and help the Americans in our communities.
I love it. I love it so much. Last question I have for you, and that's where can people follow HAFA and where can people learn more about signing up as members of HAFA? What's the best place for that?
Really easy to join is on our website. It's www.haf, the word America.org. click on membership. We have 3 levels. When I started HAFA 12 years ago, I wanted a level that everybody could afford, which is only $23 a month. And then there's 2 other levels that give you more exposure, the top being on the board, but the middle gives you the opportunity to be listed in every state that you're licensed. So the website, good. Also, social media. We have a HAFA page. We actually have 2 HAFA pages. We have a private one. We have a public one. And then follow me. I'm not silent at all. And that's how CMS kind of knows sometimes I try to hide things, but that's how they know what I'm doing. But I'm going to be honest, and you'll know what I'm doing. And the other thing that I wanted to do is not be a CEO in an ivory tower. I Zoom with agents that are not my members or my members all the time. I work with anybody. I help anybody. So you have me. All of you have me. So follow us, LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm everywhere, and I'm not being quiet. So you'll see. And I started posting in Christian's group. So hopefully he doesn't kick me out.
No, not at all. Not at all. We welcome it. We welcome it because I think I believe in so much in what you're doing, and, I think you posting and communicating and putting your thoughts out the way that you do is probably a big reason why HAFA has been so effective, and so, props to you on that. But yeah, we want to welcome it. We want to help. We want to contribute, and we welcome it. We certainly welcome it in the group. I think it's good for everybody to be able to see what's going on.
And we have one summit once a year. 2025 will be in New Orleans. So it's going to be lots of fun. This year we were in DC, but we have people coming from all over coming together, different speakers. CMS has come to every call, even though I drive them insane and they want to kill me and I'm going to be killed by a drive-by shooting by them. They come to our conferences every year. So you will be able to see them, touch them, ask them questions, why you're acting insane. You can do that over a cocktail because they will be there. So I'm very proud of what we built. And our people are rock stars. I mean, if you go look at Find an Agent, or you look at the board that is there from all over the United States, these people are leaders. And I call our HAFA members ninja warriors because they are the best, cream of the crop. They are fighting like crazy. So hopefully if people check it out, they'll be impressed. If you go to the pictures, you'll see that I have had coffee and donuts with the Speaker of the House on his balcony. I'm everywhere that I can be. And HAFA has 2 PACs. So we are giving out political money to both sides. Whoever wants to be a HAFA hero and help us, we're going to work with that person. So we're very involved.
I love it. I love it so much. Guys, we're going to be dropping the links to the event. We'll drop links to the HAFA memberships, and we'll drop links to the fund you can donate to in terms of the lawsuits. We'll drop all 3 of those down in the description of this video so you guys can go check that out and learn more. Renelle, thank you for doing this. Appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to share this information with us, and appreciate everything that you're doing for us as agents. And,
Yeah, we have a kindred spirit. We're both love what we're doing and want to fight for people. Absolutely.
I love it. I think it's a beginning of a good friendship. I think we'll be able to, we want to support you in any way that we can, so thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Guys, do us a favor. If you like this video, more people will see it. If you smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, it helps more agents find this information who need to hear it desperately. Comment your thoughts down below on any questions you have about HAFA or any thoughts you might have on the conversation we had. What do you think about what CMS is doing? Are you outraged like me and like Renelle? And make sure to subscribe. We put out weekly videos to help you grow your business and bring you information on what's going on. And thanks you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one. And here's to your success and your abundance. Thanks, everybody.